Hey everybody, it's Doom here, and we're back in the Monster Manual, and it looks like today we had the Bulette, or Bullet as you might pronounce it, or Land Shark. I have some really great sculpts of this. Honestly, the Dungeon Swag sculpt I have is amazing, but they are not as big as I like. So in the 3.5 Monster Manual, it says it's a huge magical beast, and most of the miniatures I have are only about 2.5 or 3 inches long, which technically could be huge, but would be more so large. So what I have here is a 3-inch-ish base, and I'm going to make one, because you might not have a cool miniature like I have. You might have no miniature of one. So I got some candidates here of what you can make them out of. I got hippos and rhinos and triceratopy looking kind of creature. I have a big one of those. No. They leap. So I was thinking it'd be kind of fun to make one that's kind of leaping. All right, let's see if we can do that. I might have the technology. We'll see. I might be able to pull that off with this guy because he's got bendy legs. All right, let's get our base started. And I do all my bases kind of the same way, if you haven't figured that out just yet. I get glue of the super variety. And for a big base like this, you might want to kind of do a little 3D-ness. So it's not super smooth. So what I'm doing is I'm using that kind of as like edges. And where that gel glue is, try not to mush that around too much. And you can kind of move it where you want it to go, but okay. Usually we have a real smooth base when we're done. It looks pretty predictable and you can deal with. You throw a little bit of gel glue on there, you add some serious texture. See that? Alright, let's get some of the bigger rocks first. Kind of see where this thing is going to sit. There maybe. So you put a couple big rocks here and here. Can't find exactly the rocks I want. There we go. Something like that. We need some smaller rocks too. Alright, so Bulettes can live kind of everywhere. They're not like some monsters that are very limited. These guys just have giant hunting areas, they claim, and they eat anything that moves. I've read different stuff, some saying they prefer halflings or horses, but the bottom line is they're big and they're hungry, and even if they don't want to eat a dwarf or an elf, they'll do it. We're needing a little more glue because I did not get a good seal. Okay. I'm going to set this off in front of the fan. We'll come back and do the smaller rocks on that later. All right, let's work on our Bulette. So we're going to have to remove this whole shield and fin. Let's take his horns. We'll save those for something fun, right? Because don't forget, we have an entire monster manual to get through. Okay. We'll keep that too. Take his little nose horn off. We probably won't need that. We probably won't need his lower jaw. That might be in our way. I'm just going to snip that beak off too. Alright. So we know that the Bulette has thick plates. So let's get some cardstock and start thinking about how we're going to do that. Because I didn't really come into this with too big of a plan. I was in the shop here for, I don't know, long enough to partake in some nicotine and grab some figurines to use, and that was about as exciting as I got. Okay, so we know that his head is kind of going to have to be rounded and come down some. Let me get some scissors. So let's kind of come up with something for that. That might be a little too big. Something like that would probably do it. And we know we need some plates for his back. So I think the easiest thing to do would be to start on his other plates first. So what I'm going to do is first I'm going to figure out how he stands and kind of glue his legs in place to see how he's going to fit on that base. Okay? So he's going to sit like that with his tail and his back legs connected. So let's get some glue in here. Get rid of that seam right off the bat. Okay. And then we know his front legs are going to be popped up some. So let's get some glue and kind of cover those seams. And we can put some glue in here and just kind of dab it up, just to create kind of a thicker base for things to hold on to. There we go. All right, so let's let him sit for a minute. And then we'll start putting plates on him. Alright, so for the front plates, what we want to do is we want to kind of like mess these up. I'm just putting some glue on that to get started. I'm just going to come, so this is going to go up under his head and come down and sit on his sides. You want to kind of, now that's hot. And then for the ones down his back, we're going to do something similar. So we're going to start with his tail and do the little plates on his tail first. And so I think what we can do for those is for the back one, don't forget we want to tear these up a little bit, you know. Not tear them up, you know what I mean, mess them up. You want to pull that in such a way that you have a good bond. These back ones are smaller. So you want to keep them going. There's a little bit of a point, maybe. Mess them up. Get a little bit on there. Okay. Just going to keep working those around. Get something. La 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 la. Just fold them. And you're not doing a perfect job here, right? Now, as he comes up towards when we get up towards the end of his tail here, we're going to need to start making him a little bit bigger, though, okay? Oop. All right. Good. I don't know if any of those are quite as wide as I want them to be, so let me get in their piece here and work on that. I'm just gonna Okay. We're going to do one more front plate. And then we're going to do his main back plate. Now that leg moved because we did not get enough glue in there. Now see how we need to get that glue around and get this stuff cleaned up. Now you won't be seeing any of that if we did our job right. Alright, so we need one more back plate. And we want this one to kind of have a little bit of a point going both ways. Something like that. We might actually need one more front plate as I'm looking at this. We'll see in a second here. Yeah, I think we'll be alright. Alright, so this one, I want to make sure this is really sturdy and it actually follows the shape of him pretty good. So I'm just kind of getting it on there and letting it sit. Then I'm going to come up here and get in here. I'm going to do each side one at a time. That's burning the hell out of me. Ow, ow, ow. Alright. Oh, that's super hot. Okay. So, that side looks like it's going to stick. Let's get this cleaned off here. Alright. Oh, it's hot. Alright. Let's get our glue gun and work down these little bumps where it's folded, because I don't think Bullets would have too many folds. If we can't get them exactly down, I don't think it's going to matter a whole lot, because on the, oh, I popped a leg out. Okay. Alright, so let's do his head now. So what we want to do is pull that back and kind of pull that down around and make sure it's kind of curved. Okay, so we're just pulling that out and we're going to pull this back. Just work him into the shape we want. Then we're going to come under here. Okay, and just kind of pinch that in some. All right, now he has a bottom piece to his head too. So what we're going to do is cut something like for that. So we want to kind of kind of see what I mean. We want to get that to where it's a little bit of an underbite, but not an obsessive overbite. You can actually do an over or underbite. I suppose it wouldn't really make too big of a difference. Okay, get it to where you're happy. Don't forget that part is under the miniature too. So if you're thinking to yourself, oh, I don't like the way this looks, it's underneath. It's going to be okay. Now we got to do some armor on the underside. So for that, I'm just going to keep it real simple, stupid. Kind of fit a piece that'll go in there. Okay. Something like that. And then we want this to kind of go up underneath here if we can get it. So we're going to pull these out a little bit. Okay. Probably should have done the bottom first. Lesson learned, right? Okay, here we go. Then we just want to get some glue back under here. Push that back down. I'll let that sit for a minute and get hard. So his head and everything that's looking real plain and flat, that's pretty easy fix stuff, okay? Do we want to put plates on his arms? I don't think we do. Okay. He needs eyes. So probably the wise thing to do for eyes, if I'm guessing, would be to use some like those little gem things I use all the time. 2 of these. Oh, come on. I know better than that already. How that goes. Okay, so let's get a piece of this and put a dab of glue on it. That might be a bad spot for the eye. No, it's not terrible. Let's slide it down a little bit more. Okay. All right. Now we have some spots I don't particularly like the back of this right here. Seems a little bit wonked. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get up under there with something smooth and kind of pop some of that up. Get rid of some of that where it's crimped too much. Then I'm going to come on this guy and I'm just going to work this gun and try to cover any little seams I don't like on each plate, or any little folds or weird angles, or anything I just don't care for. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up and back. I'm going to drag those to the edges of the plates. Can you see what I'm doing there? Okay. Just taking any texture I don't like. I'm covering it up. Sick. He's gonna look all right, guys. We're gonna come back and do the front plates the same way. Just trying to mask any of the parts we don't like. Get some hot glue up in there and pull that smooth. Use that heat to kind of hold it in place. There we go. Get a little bit inside that gap. There we go. Nice. Alright, so now we're going to have to do his head, which is kind of a big job. So the first thing we want to do is we want to not hit the eyes, okay? Man, getting in there, huh? Alright. A little bit of his nose popped out right there, and I don't like it, so I'm trying to fix it real quick. I think that'll do it. So, I just did that hoping to get some better bond with the base. Come back and hit the base. And we want to make sure he's sturdy on this base, right? We don't want any room for error. We want him to come out like he's coming from the rocks this way. He's pretty heavy. Let's get his legs as straight as we can get him for that lineup. So we get lots of surface area covered. Let's get our glue. So we're going to want a pretty good amount of glue on each foot for sure. And we're going to want some on this tail. Okay. And to make sure this stays, just give it a good minute to settle. Okay. That, my dudes, is probably not going to be a permanent stick unless we can do something with that front foot there. Oh, never mind. All right. So if you don't like him at this point, you can try to play with any of the lines and make them look a little less perfect and symmetrical. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get a little bit of glue and kind of build up a little bit of an eyebrow there. A little bit of a brow line. And I'm going to work that in too. Okay. And there's our Bulette. So I'd like to thank everybody for watching. I really do appreciate it. We're going to come back and paint this guy next. And I think we're going to be pleasantly surprised with how he turns out. Let's hope he is. This is Doom from Dungeons and Doom Biscuit. I'm one half of the Dungeons Swag team. I'd like to thank you guys for sticking with us and watching. If you could do me a favor, like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. I hear people asking to share. I can't imagine really sharing this unless you're like hanging out with a bunch of crafters who don't watch the same shit on YouTube. You know what I mean? So, hey, if you want to support what we're doing here, though, seriously, buy some miniatures. We sell some amazing minis. We have great prices on our minis. We're going to beat out almost anybody else's prices. I can pretty much guarantee that. I can't say I can 100% guarantee that because there might be some other people that aren't big corporations that are doing the same thing we are and trying to bring minis to you affordably. We do have some discount codes if you need them. So, feel free to check those out. There's one for a free mini that includes shipping, and there's another one that'll get you a I can't think straight. Not a free mini. Oh, 25% off your first month of our subscription service. Our subscription service is pretty sick. It's essentially we send you a box of minis, and in it are 6, 7, or 8 orcs, goblins. Well, with goblins, they're small, so it might be something more than a 6, but 7 or 8. It might be like 10. But anyway, it's something that fills up an army on your table. That's what we're going for. And I just threw some rocks under here. For a personal thing. And I put a little glue around him. Alright, thanks for watching. We'll come back and we'll paint him next time. I really appreciate everything you do, supporting the channel. And have a great day. Thanks.